Let me come here to the stage. Welcome everyone to a very exciting day. I'm wearing a celebratory shirt here. For those of you who can see me, because today, in just a few brief minutes, supposedly, based on the tweets that we got from the OpenAI folks, O3 is gonna see the light of day. O3, of course, is OpenAI's announced but not released best reasoning model, the one that took Arc AGI by storm with the high reasoning effort, and the one that we've been waiting for a while, and the one that you could only get a taste of in the deep research OpenAI product. And so I am very excited to see the announcement, to see whether or not they kept training O3 since then. I'm very excited to get a feel for AGI, as some folks on the timelines have been promising. And so we're gonna have a watch party. We had a watch party on Monday for the GPT 4.1 developer release. That one also seemed big, but I think this one is bigger because I think that I don't want to speculate. I don't love speculating, but I think that this is gonna go towards people maybe who pay for Pro first, for them to kind of capture a little bit more of the excitement and money. But O3 absolutely was a huge deal when it was announced, at least in our circles. The fact that it broke AGI, Arc AGI, the fact that it scored so high on different reasoning tasks. So we're gonna do a watch party. We're gonna have a bunch of folks here. I invited a bunch of friends. If you're a mutual of mine and you want to join the watch party as well, if you work in OpenAI, you want to join the watch party, you're welcome. If you have a shirt like this with the very old logo, you're welcome to also DM me and hop on the stream, because while we're not in San Francisco, well, at least some of us not, we are participants in this celebration for sure, and we don't want to miss it. And I invite you to also join the watch party because I want it to be fun. So we're gonna see you here, back here, once anything moves. And OpenAI, they fairly famously start on time, so we're gonna go and see on youtube.com/OpenAI if the stream already scheduled. And so we'll see you here, guys, in a few minutes. I want to see if the stream is scheduled. Yes, the stream is scheduled for the next 10 minutes. And not only that, the announcement that they have, which I didn't add here, I'm going to add right now, is introduction to the new O series models. And specifically, they talk about O4 mini as well. O4 mini, not 4O mini. Don't get confused. And like almost right on cue, here's some music. Hopefully you guys can hear the music. Folks who are listening in the stream, you should be able to join the live in the Twitter space. You should be able to join the live stream as well. All right, folks. Chat is disabled for this live stream. And yeah, we're tracking to have at least 10% of what they have. So they have 3,800 people watching. We have almost 400 people watching. So I'd be very happy with 10% of the live stream. But if we get like half, that'd be great as well. All right, folks, I'm excited. This is gonna happen soon. O4 mini. I need to change my scrolling thingy. some folks said in the comments, hey Ryan, LFG, folks. Let's friggin' go. I'm very, very excited. O3 and O4 Mini. Somebody mentioned that this feels like Apple. Like every time Apple releases something, this is their best iPhone yet. And I don't know, I'm here for it. I'm here to mention every Apple's phone or from OpenAI. Oh, I should mention, yes. Hey Dan, thank you. While we're here and we're talking about getting started, very close. My name's Alex Volkov, as you see here in the bottom right. I'm an AI evangelist with Weights and Biases. Weights and Biases is by far the best tooling for ML experimentation and LLM observability. We have the tool called Weave. And I'm the host of Thursday AI, which is a podcast and a newsletter that Dan just mentioned. And we recently crossed 100 episodes. The next one's going to be episode 101, which is going to be very exciting. And we talk about AI every week, and we keep you up to date so you don't have to. And this week, this is going to be my third stream tomorrow. But basically, we keep you up to date, and we celebrate every AI release that's been released. I'm very excited to celebrate this one. I think this is going to be a very big deal. It feels to me, O3 conversation when they just announced it felt to me like a big deal. I'm very, very interested in getting actual access to it. There he is.
Hey.
From Ravenwolf, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Man.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
I'm very excited. They said something in the beginning of the week that this week is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a live stream already. And yesterday I was talking to a lady of my heart, let's say. And I told her, you remember when OpenAI released 4.1? And she's like, yeah, yesterday, right? And I was like, was it only yesterday?
It's OpenAI week.
It is OpenAI week, absolutely. It's why, yeah, Llama 4 kind of disappeared from the radar like super quick.
Oh yeah.
We're just kind of like.
Do you know why I'm late?
Why are you late?
I was finishing the evals for GPT 4.5, which was on my list for such a long time, and I just finished it. And it is in top space. Yeah, so I'm expecting the new one to be the new top one. So I just got a top one, and now this should.
Oh, 4.5 is your top one?
It achieved the greatest score I have on my benchmark. Yeah.
Really? Even beating like 01 and like, did you try 01 Pro? Did you get access to 01 Pro?
No, That I didn't do, and my employer paid for the 4.5, which was expensive, but the most expensive, we didn't want to do that.
Yeah. O1 Pro is releasing the API, and some people are using this. All right, folks, Wolfram. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I've been telling folks while you came in. No, this is like too small for us. I've been waiting for this to drop since we were, I think, also live watching the O3 announcement.
Yeah, I think
we had a watch party for O3, and back then I invited Greg Comrade, the guy, the president of ARC AGI, and now the president, and then he showed up on stream. I was like, oh, yeah. So we'll see if Greg will join us as well. LDJ, welcome to the watch party. We're gonna have the whole crew here, hopefully, because I think this feels like a big event.
Yeah, apparently there's I don't know, I think there's like 30% chance it might be a meme, but apparently there's a leaked image of like O3 Mini, O3, and O4 like on a chart for benchmarking, but it's kind of like an Apple style chart with like no y-axis. Like
no, that's Zeophone. Zeophone is just memeing, man. I saw
oh,
this.
Okay. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, it did make me think though. Like regardless, even if it's a meme, like you said, I think maybe even if they don't release O4 today, maybe that will be part of the announcement.
O4 Mini, at least was talked on the YouTube kind of preview image. I don't know about O4, but O4 Mini definitely. Not to be confused with 4O Mini, which is now,
oh boy,
which is now less interesting than 4.1 Mini. Especially, Wolfram, did you see my thing from yesterday where if you just repeat the instructions at the end, you get improvement from these models? It's crazy. So folks who have no idea what I'm talking about, while we open up the show, I did some evaluations for the recently released GPT 4.1, 4.1 Mini, and 4.1 Nano. And then I did evaluations, and they beat the GPT 4.0 models, the non-reasoning models. And then somebody mentioned, I think from OpenAI, they released like a prompting guide, and somebody mentioned that repeating your instructions at the end as well as in the beginning, aka the prompt sandwich, actually improves coherence, performance, etc. Like, I did not believe this. I literally went, and all I did is added another developer message at the end. So like developer message with the system message with instructions, then my question, and then another developer message with the exact same thing at the end. And all of the model, sorry, the Mini and the Nano models improved significantly. The regular model did not improve as much. So this was quite something.
Yeah.
So if you're prompting with 4.1, do the prompt sandwich.
I've been doing that most of the time. So giving it you are and what are you going to do, then context, and then just what is the task you're doing right now.
Oh, we're starting, folks.
Hello and welcome. I'm Greg Brockman.
Greg!
I'm Mark Chen. I lead research at OpenAI.
There are some models that feel like a qualitative step into the future. GPT-4 was one of those. Today is also going to be one of those days.
Yes.
We are going to be releasing two models, O3 and O4 Mini. These are the first models where top scientists tell us they produce legitimately good and useful novel ideas. We've seen great results in law. Talking to one of my coworkers yesterday, he said that O3 came up with a great idea for system architecture. It's like, we haven't really seen anything like this. And the thing that's really amazing about these models is that they're not just models, they're really AI systems. We've trained them to use tools, which is not something that we had done with our previous reasoning models. They actually use these tools in their chain of thought as they're trying to solve a hard problem. For example, we've seen O3 use like 600 tool calls in a row trying to solve a really hard task. And we're going to be making these models incrementally available starting today, rolling out as quickly as we can in our API and ChatGPT. And one thing that's very near and dear to my heart is their ability in software engineering, and not just producing sort of one-off pieces of code, but really working in real code bases. I found that these models are actually better than I am at navigating through our OpenAI code base. which is really useful.
Definitely better than I am.
That ship has sailed for me a long time ago.
Yes. But it just helps you get so much more done. And so we're really excited to bring these to the world and see what you will all do with them.
The reason we're so excited about tool use is that it makes our reasoning models that much more useful and that much smarter. Just as you might use a calculator to solve a difficult math problem, or you might use a map app to navigate through unfamiliar streets, our models, when paired with the right tools, become that much more powerful. With that in mind, we combined our O-series reasoning models with our full suite of tools to achieve state-of-the-art results across a bunch of very hard benchmarks, including AMY, GPQA, Codeforces, and SWE-bench. And just to illustrate the power of tools, it can also give a lot of new functionality. For instance, we now can have the models think with images. And what that means is that the model can use Python to manipulate, crop, and transform images in service of the task that you want to do. This means that today you can upload complicated images. You can upload blurry, upside-down images, and the model will handle that without any problems. Now, these advancements are powered by continued algorithmic advances in our RL paradigm. We've continued to scale both train time scaling and test time scaling. And one thing that makes me so excited about these models is just 1 or 2 weeks ago, I saw that there was a new paper in condensed matter physics, right? And it used O3 mini high to aid in the proof of a new unsolved theorem. And I really do believe that with this suite of models, O3 and O4 mini, we're going to see more advances like that. So here we have two of our researchers. We have Eric and Brandon, and they're going to show us a demo.
Yep. Hi, I'm Brandon McKinsey. I work on multimodal reasoning at OpenAI.
Hi, I'm Eric Mitchell. I work on post-training along with lots of other folks for our O-series models.
All right, we're going to show you some things that O3 can do. I'll start with a science example. So this will be a physics poster. So I'm going to let O3 start thinking now so it can take its time. What I'm going to feed it is a poster of some physics internship that I did in 2015, so 10 years ago. And this poster, or the project, was supposed to estimate a quantity called the proton isovector scalar charge. It's a beyond the standard model of particle physics quantity that tells you how short-range interactions, how strong they are. And what you'll see is that the model, O3, is zooming in. It's kind of like browsing around. Here, I'll zoom out just to get a little bit better view. And it is kind of looking for the right quantities for the question I asked it, which is to basically find this result that I had and compare it to recent literature. But there's a small twist. The result actually isn't in the poster, and that's because I didn't have it yet. Although it's in like the final paper for this project, it's not in this poster, and I'm actually asking O3 to do the rest of the project for me, essentially.
He uses the same trick at OpenAI.
Yeah. It's true. Great. So it found the plot that I wanted it to find. It's supposed to figure out that it needs to find the slope of this plot, extrapolate down to a specific physical quark mass, and then grab that quantity, and then actually apply another quantity to normalize that value. And I think it has already kind of figured out that this is what it should do, but it is just spending a little bit more time exploring the image. Okay, it's good. It's now going to browse the web for recent results.
Yeah, why is it searching the web?
Well, I think I actually, did I ask it? I said, oh yeah, find any recent findings that have updated estimates. So now it's just looking at the literature and seeing what people have done and how it compares to the result that it thinks that I eventually arrived at.
And how long do you think it would take you to do this task?
Quite a long time. Yeah, so it took me a long time just to remember what my poster even meant in the first place. And I also didn't even realize that the result wasn't there when I first asked it this question. It actually told me that, which was nice. So many days just for me to even onboard myself back to my project, and then a few days more probably to actually search through the literature. And I mean, it must have just read at least 10 different papers in a few seconds for me. So that's a huge time savings. Great, so it has summarized my result here, and these numbers look correct to me. So it's figured out there's this unnormalized value that it's estimated by extrapolating, and that when you multiply by this specific constant, that it will renormalize it. And it says, okay, you would have ended up with this, which is somewhat close. I think it ended up around 1.2 in my paper. And then it compares with the actual literature here. So there's a few different estimates, and looks a little close, I'd say. So let's see what it says. It says my bear value looks high because it needs to be renormalized. That's correct. After you multiply by that, you get something that's more consistent with the state-of-the-art results. That's great. But it says my precision isn't as good as the state-of-the-art, which is fine. It was an internship.
Not bad for an internship.
Exactly. So
We'll allow it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So it seems like it's still a reasonable estimate that maybe has a little bit more uncertainty than recent results, which is great. So the field has made progress, which is awesome to see.
That's such a cool example.
That's super cool.
Cool. Now I'll hand it off to Eric for his example.
Cool. Yeah, it's tough to go after a demo like that, but I'm gonna show another aspect of O3's capabilities that I also think is super cool. As Mark and Greg have said, one of the cool things about these models is they can use all of the tools that we have available in ChatGPT. So I just turned on memory for this model, so the model knows a few things about me, and I'll get this one started as well. And so as people have said, models are super smart, which is really, really great, and they can help us with even cutting edge research in all sorts of fields. But even if you're not literally a researcher in particle physics, this new intelligence and these sort of more agentic kind of abilities to use tools is still useful, and it can still be very valuable for you as well. And so what I've asked O3 here is just based on what you know about me, so it has access to memories now. Read the news and teach me something that I probably didn't know, but that I would find really cool in particular. And so this is going to involve knowing something about me, but also doing some of this agentic thinking and tool use to look up some potentially relevant interesting things. And here I've also asked it to actually plot some data or information that I could put in a blog post if I wanted to tell people about this cool new fact. And so what it's done here is some of my interests are scuba diving and playing music. And so it's sort of combined these interests, and it's actually found this line of research that was actually kind of mind-blowing to me, which I didn't know about until I actually was working on this demo, where researchers actually make recordings of healthy coral reefs, and then they literally play back those recordings underwater with an underwater speaker, and that actually accelerates the settlement of new coral and even fish to sort of heal that coral reef and have it regenerate more quickly. And so this is like an actual line of research in coral reef preservation, and it was a very cool sort of synthesis of both underwater exploration and also music. And so here we have a nice blog post. So the model is sort of smoothly both browsing. It's using advanced data analysis to show and plot some data for me. It's using Canvas to generate a blog post, and it's summarizing at the end with some citations, what it found and where it got those results from. So again, these models are super, super smart, which is awesome, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I think this new intelligence and sort of ability to use tools will be useful whether you are literally at the frontiers of some scientific field, or you are integrating this model in your everyday workflows.
I wonder if you can maybe play sound for a physicist too, and it would improve their results.
Yeah, what should we play at work?
Yeah, the sound of a healthy
physicist. What does a healthy physicist sound like, Brandon?
I'll look into that. I'll ask O3.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Thank you guys both for showing these really compelling demos. Next, we'll have Wenda and we'll have Ananya come on and talk a little bit about how the models are trained and also what the evals are like.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you both.
Man, yeah, super incredible.
It really is.
Knowledge work, and also, even if you're just doing something that's highly personalized, it's very useful.
And to me, the magic is that under the hood, it's still just next token prediction.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just a model that's just thinking about what should come next.
With sprinkles of RL.
Exactly. We've changed the objective, we trained where the data come from, and now we're able to really hook it up to the world.
Hi, I'm Wenda. I'm a researcher at OpenAI, and I work on scaling RL systems.
I'm Ananya. I'm a researcher at OpenAI, and I worked on some of the algorithms for these models. So we wanted to start out by showing some results on standard benchmarks for these models in math, coding, and science. So in these plots, the dark yellow bars are the new set of models, and the light yellow bars are the old set of models. And we see a pretty substantial boost. So on Amy, which is a hard math contest, O4 Mini gets 99% accuracy with tools, pretty much saturating the eval. On Code Forces, these models get over 2,700, which place them in the top 200 contestants in the world. And GPQA is a set of hard PhD level questions, and O3 gets over 83%, which is pretty incredible.
It's pretty good.
We want to go beyond the eval numbers, which are incredible, and show you a little bit how our model uses tools in order to solve those problems. So here, for example, we have a problem from the Amy math contest. And the problem here is asking you to look at this grid of 2 by 2 squares and count the number of combinations of coloring that verify some constraint. And let's see how the model does it.
Yeah, so the way the model thinks is really cool. So it starts out by producing a brute force program and then runs it using a Python interpreter. And it gets the right answer, which is 82. But this is messy, right? It's pretty inelegant. And the model recognizes that and then simplifies its solution and comes up with a smarter way of doing things. It then also double checks its answer to increase its reliability, which is kind of neat. Now, these models are not just trained to output the right answer, they're also trained to be useful. So in this case, it now gives the solution in words to explain it to a human. What I found really cool here was we didn't train the model to use certain strategies directly. We didn't say, simplify your solution or double check. It just organically learns to do these things, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's super cool that comes up with essentially the intended solution here that a human would be able to do, whereas the first brute force solution, of course, you would never have time to do that in the actual contest. So beyond math science, we also want to share, a lot of you, I know, use these models for coding, and we want to share some practical coding benchmarks. So on SweDancer, SweBench, and Ada Polyglot, we achieve state-of-the-art results with the model when it's allowed to use tools end-to-end without any harness or any specific things like this. And to illustrate a bit more, I want to share a SweBench example with all of you. So for this example, I'm running it with O3 High in the API with access to the container tool. Unfortunately, it will take us a couple more weeks to put the final polish on a tool running in the API. And so you won't be able to run this today, but I want to share this because I'm so excited about how the model is using the tool. So the problem the model is asked to tackle is the following. It's concerning a bug in this package called SymPy, which is a Python package which is used to manipulate symbolic mathematics. And I'm prompting the model with the question, and I'm also giving the model access to a container, which is a virtual machine, with the SymPy repository preloaded. So the model has access to a shell with all the code already there, and the model will have to figure out the bug. So the cool thing is that the model starts by just double checking what I'm saying and seeing whether it observes the same thing. Like I would do when someone bugs me about something, I'm just going to check, is it actually a problem? And the model does see, oh yeah, it seems to print out max of 2x with the round brackets and the square brackets.
I bug Wendell a lot, and he does that.
And he always has good questions though, so yeah. And then after this, just to double check, it will check that sign is now rendering correctly. So this is the square brackets, it's the intended behavior, and it's the bug we're trying to fix essentially. And so the model will go around and browse the code and try to kind of get the lay of the land of the repository. And to do this, it just uses common terminal tools that Ananya or me might use in our day-to-day work. So like it lists the files, it opens the file with sed, and it will kind of print out the relevant files and try to find what it's looking for. After some browsing, eventually the model figures out that maybe it can check this thing called the MRO, which is a Python construct that tells you about the inheritance of the class. And then based on the previous knowledge that the model has acquired, it notices that something is wrong, and this class does not inherit from function, but from application. And so the model browses around it a bit more, and eventually figures out that there's a good solution here. We can change this file to implement this. So it uses apply patch, applies a patch, and then hopefully this is the right solution. Finally, to confirm this, the model runs a unit test, just like any good engineer would, to double check that it has gotten the right thing, and it sees that indeed now it's printing with the square brackets. So this was a really cool route, and it's really cool to see the model kind of arranging this all by its own. This route was actually on the shorter side of SweBench, and there were about 22 interactions and 16,000 tokens.
In some cases, the model uses more than 100 container interactions, and on average, it uses 37. So it's pretty cool that it can do these long rollouts with so many container interactions and get the right answer.
Yeah, doing a rollout that long with reliability is not trivial at all.
It's really hard. Yeah. We also wanted to show some numbers for standard multimodal benchmarks. And these numbers are just crazy on MMMU, MathVista, Charchive, and VStar. So we really hope these models are useful for your multimodal tasks as well.
Yeah, this is really applying the reasoning paradigm to multimodal, which was previously not possible. And now, as Brandon demoed, the model is able to manipulate the image directly in the chain of thought, and that leads to a huge increase in capability for multimodal. Yeah, finally, I want to share another few evals that we run externally. So Humanity Task Exam, as you can see, our O3 model is able to get close to deep research. But O3 will run much faster, and of course, much fewer rate limits in ChatGPT if you're using it in ChatGPT. So we think it's a very cool model if you do not need a full report like what deep research produces, but instead are still interested in some agentic behavior to help you grab information.
So in these plots, we show the performance on the y-axis against the estimated inference cost on the x-axis. And we see that O4 mini is quite a bit better than O3 mini for any given inference cost.
Additionally, one thing that is not shown here is that O4 mini is a multimodal model, unlike O3 mini. So if you need a small and fast multimodal reasoning model, yeah, I'm very excited for you guys to try out O4 mini.
The results for O3 are even more stark. You can see that it can get the same performance with way less inference cost. And if you're willing to pay the same amount as O1, then you get a much higher score. So these are pretty amazing models.
Yeah, and this is why we're going to replace the O1 models with the new ones.
Yes. One thing we should mention quickly is that due to of the optimizations we've done to make the reasoning more cost efficient, and also the model more useful in general, it is not as benchmark optimized as the numbers we shared for the 12 days of Christmas. So there might be some small disparities up and down. Generally, it's gone up in multimodal, for example. We still think that this is a much better model because it's much more optimized for real-world use cases, and you won't have to wait as long when you're asking for an answer, which is a real thing with these reasoning models.
People are impatient.
I am impatient.
Yeah. So these models are a result of a lot of rigorous science, ingenuity, and craftsmanship. And we put in more than 10 times the training compute of O1 to produce O3. And it was a lot of hard work by lots and lots of people, but the end result was really beautiful to see. As we scaled up compute on the x-axis, the performance on evals like Amy just kept going up.
Yeah, so this is really us, going and retracing our steps through the GPT series, right, which was this kind of predictable scaling and pre-training. And now the goal is really we're trying to get through this scaling in RL and showing that as we put in more RL compute, we're also able to get commensurate gains.
So what will O4 look like?
Yeah, I think if we just draw the line, 110%.
You heard it here first.
Great. We're so excited for you to try out the model.
Thank you. So we've shown you the models, but we have one more special surprise. Here to show that to you are Fuad and Michael.
Let's go, Fuad.
Hi, I'm Fuad on the Agents Research team.
I'm Michael, also on Agents Research.
I remember seeing a couple years ago the Codex demo, and it's just so wild to see how far we've come with these new sweet bench numbers.
Yeah, that model in that demo was kind of the first time that anyone had seen what is now called vibe coding. What a great term! I wish we had it at the time. And we called that model Codex because it really captures the fact that code is so integral to what we were trying to train the model to do. And so today, what we're going to show you is the continuation of the Codex legacy. We're going to be releasing a series of applications that we think will define what the future of programming looks like. And today we're starting with the first one.
Great, yeah. Today we're excited to share Codex CLI. It's a lightweight interface to connect our models to our users and their computers. You can think of it like a reference implementation for how to safely deploy code executing agents where you need them. It's built on top of public APIs like the Responses API, taking advantage of new features like chain of thought summaries in that API, and our latest models like O3 and O4 mini with multimodal reasoning capabilities. But enough talk, let's actually see a demo. Michael?
Awesome. So I went online to see what people had built with O3 mini. And so I found this cool image to ASCII generator. The author said that they built it with O3, but I'm pretty sure they meant O3 mini. So
unless they were time traveling.
Yeah, right. And so I thought today we would re-implement this using Codex and O4 mini just from the post. And so I'll start out actually, but just by taking a screenshot. And I'll take the screenshot and I'll drag it to my terminal. And so I'll give it to Codex. And so as you can see, I've passed it in using the image flag. And so Codex will start using that multimodal reasoning that we saw earlier from O4 Mini.
And one amazing thing about using these models directly on your computers, you can take any file, any code base that you're working in, just go and grab that, put it into Codex, and here we can actually see some of that chain of thought that we were talking about earlier. It's asking for some clarifying questions, it's thinking about things, and then it actually looked at the image and even suggested a few things that we might want to do with it. What did you have in mind?
I thought we would just re-implement what we saw in the post.
Yeah, but since we're live, maybe we'll make it a little bit more fun. Let's add the web camera API, and just for the folks watching on the live stream, maybe let's make sure we keep it in the 16 by 9. I don't want some really small little video, but do you want to go and try that?
That sounds bold, but I like it. All right, so now it's going.
So while it's thinking, I think one of the amazing things about Codex is that you can actually see it both think and also run the tools directly on your machine. So like what they mentioned earlier with function calling and the API, you can actually expose any of the existing functions that you would use, and in the future we'll have the full suite of tools you'll be able to use in the API. And while it's thinking, do you want to maybe talk a little bit about how it actually runs the commands? We can start to see it actually running some commands now.
Yeah, so by default, Codex runs in what we call suggest mode. And so as it's running, it suggests commands to edit, or commands to run, or files to edit, and you get to approve each one. But that can get a bit tedious. And so for the sake of the demo, I ran it in what we call full auto mode.
Yeah, and a little bit about full auto mode. It's a mode where you can allow the agent to go off and do its work, but still stay safe and secure. So it's able to run commands network disabled and limit the edits that it makes to the directory that you ran it in. So it gives you the peace of mind of actually having something that can go off and do things, but without the risks that come with just letting it run whatever command it wants. It looks like it's pretty fast, so it's already done.
It's already done.
So you want to go and pull it up?
Yeah, so it said it created this ASCII HTML file, so let's go pull that up. Got to give it some permissions.
Always need some permissions.
And let's see.
Oh, that's so sick.
Nice.
I was like, it even had a little width slider.
Let's see.
Not quite what I thought a width slider would do.
Oh, but it's low res us.
I do love the low res version. Mark, you want to say hi?
There we go.
Hi.
Nice.
Amazing. So as you can see, it's so fun to use Codex. We've been using Codex to actually build Codex, and we're incredibly excited to see what you do with it now that it's fully available. And not only is the tool available, but we're also open sourcing all the code. So you can go up, as of a few minutes ago, to our GitHub, OpenAI/Codex, and go check it out. You can even use Codex to explain the repo to you. We're incredibly excited to see what you do. Alongside Codex CLI, we're also announcing a $1 million open source initiative to support projects with API credits using our latest models, using Codex CLI to accelerate the frontier of open source. We'll have a link in our research blog post for more information, but with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Mark.
Thank you both.
Yeah. Thank you both so much. I want to talk a little bit more about ChatGPT availability. So starting today, if you are a Pro Plus Team subscriber, we're going to start rolling out access to O3, O4 Mini, and O4 Mini High. And as you saw from Anania's post, these are strictly better than the previous generation of models, so they will be replacing the O1 and O3 Mini series of models that we had before. You're going to have to wait a week if you are Enterprise or EDU. And if you use O1 Pro today and you love it, we are going to roll out O3 Pro, but it will take us some time to make sure all of the last remaining features are tied up.
We are also releasing these models in the API. In upcoming weeks, we will release tool usage in the API as well. So that will be really exciting to see what people do with them. These models, huge amount of work making them available from the entire team. And so it's been a real labor of love to bring these to the world. And we really view them as a major step forward in our mission of bringing AGI to benefit all of humanity. And so they're very useful for scientific applications, but we also think that they will be useful in your daily life. And so please use them, explore what they're capable of, and we're just so excited to see what you'll do with them. Thank you.
Thank you to the team.
Nice.
Let's
Very
go. Let's go. Really good release. Seriously.
Alex muted.
Alex, you're muted, yeah.
Let's go. I was like very excited. I forgot to unmute. Whoa. All right, folks, let's dissect this. So first of all, congratulations to everyone in OpenAI on working on these incredible releases. Finally, I was reminded when we first heard about O3, this was the last day of the 12 days of Christmas. And since then, 4 months or so, like a little bit less than 4 months, we got the O3 release. We also got O4 mini announcement and release. Also some deprecations, as always. I took a bunch of notes. Folks, we need to dissect this from the perspective of evals, from the perspective of new examples, the examples they shown on stage. We have to talk about Codex. By the way, did I make it or did not I make it with the shirt, folks? OpenAI Codex is resurrected. Let's go. Codex, for those who are not familiar, was the first model before they trained kind of coding capabilities into GPT 3.5, I believe. So, who wants to start first?
Here, I'll start. I think this
Let's
is
go.
really good from the point of view of especially cohesion between product side and the research side of things. I think that there's a lot of ideas that people have had around things like, oh, what if you could have something like allow the model to kind of like decide where to zoom in on a photo and understand it better, and just kind of like a lot of offhand ideas that people have had on the product side and research side of things. And what if you train the model to do this as well and reason about tool use and all of that? It seems like they're kind of bringing a lot of that finally into the consumer hands and in a at least somewhat polished way, it seems like here. And I'm really excited to start using it.
The zoom in on the image in the PDF, that was great. That felt very agentic. Imagine you roll back like 2 years ago, and then you're at the release of GPT-4, and then we just only learned that models can even see images, right? Like the GPT-4 two years ago, I believe, 2 years and a month ago. And Greg Brockman, which I'm very happy that he came out for this as well, back then showed the napkin with a website and then asked GPT-4 to create this, and was like, whoa, it can see. Now, not only it can see, it can zoom in, like crop, like rotate, like do kind of stuff. And they specifically mentioned for the multimodal benchmarks, this really helps. This native tool use capability of not only seeing, but like zooming in. That feels so agentic to me, folks, like zooming in, right? Zooming in for some reason is something that, even our toddlers can do when you give them an iPhone. Like this thing from 2 years old before they can speak, or 1 year old before they can speak, they can go like this. The fact that the model can zoom in just makes me giggle.
I'm thinking about medical applications that could be really helpful.
Medical applications, absolutely. I think it's very important there as well. Excited to play with these models. So, anybody got their hands already on one?
Not yet, but usually T3 chat is pretty quick lately to like add models. Like I think within a few hours of GPT 4.1 releasing, it was on T3 chat. So
yeah, I got it.
On there.
Yes, I have.
Oh, you got it already?
I got it already, folks, which is impressive. Finally, because it took me a while to get like image generation, but now we can take a look at O3. O3.
Oh, I get it in Germany, even here. It's here.
Whoa. Let's go. Yeah.
Right. O3 mini high, O3 mini, yeah.
Of course, we're gonna
announcement. So Sam just posted 2 minutes ago on Twitter. He said, we expect to release O3 Pro to the Pro tier in a few weeks.
Good.
Yeah.
Really
Greg also
good.
said O3 Pro as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy too early. I didn't get it yet. I just was confused.
Oh, you got too excited? All right, I can proxy.
Too many models.
I can proxy your German request into O3. So, folks, we're getting O3 and O4 mini and O4 mini high. All three models are live, and or at least live for some folks. I have the Pro account yet, and I'm very happy to be able to test them out. Advanced reasoning. What should we test it on?
I think the pricing is extremely competitive.
Yeah, let's talk about the pricing.
Yeah, so while we were watching, I was checking the pricing page, and they already updated it. So it is. There are 3 models that are more expensive, which is O1 and the GPT-4.5 preview and O1 Pro, of course. But O3, just $40 for a million token output. That is high, but it's not too high for considering what it is supposed to do. Of course, I want to benchmark it myself, but yeah, I think it is a good pricing. If it was really the next level and we are seeing a big leap now, I hope so. We will see when we are using it more. So are you going to do the Ice Cube challenge?
I'm going to do a different challenge. So, folks, I have taken And I thought about this. I'm pretty sure it's gonna crush the Ice Cube challenge. Like we can just test, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna crush it. Like all the previous reasoning models crushed the Ice Cube challenge. Even 4.5 did. I will hopefully get API access. I think we'll get API access and like test it on the same eval sets. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get way better than O1. But I took a bunch of notes during this presentation because I'm preparing for Thursday tomorrow. Sorry. These are 4.1 notes. Don't mind them. These are O3 and O4 mini announcement notes that I had with screenshots, and I just screenshotted this whole thing, and I'm just gonna paste it here and say, hey. These are notes from the live stream that we on Thursday I did with Wolfram, LDJ, and Yam for the O3 announcement. These are notes with some images. Read those, parse those, and tell me the list of things that are most important about this release. Don't be afraid of going into the links that you see there as well to grab some information. Ha! Do you guys see this? My new AI thingy knows your names. Anyway, let's go. So I just gave it like a whole long image because previously these models had like troubles with like very long images because of like how the sampling works. But I really am interested in seeing the zoom in. We're also getting thoughts, folks. Alex shared details about upcoming model announcements. This model, so we're seeing thoughts. They didn't mention thoughts at all, right? They didn't mention whether or not we're getting the actual like thought traces or not. I didn't hear anything about whether these thoughts
didn't
are
hear anything
obfuscated.
about it either. I wonder if it is just a summarization or something, a filtered version of the thoughts. Probably.
I have an incoming request to try another thing, so I'll try it with O3 in a second. Wow. All right. So we're searching the web. Let's actually look at what happens here. All right. Here's the distilled, no fluff round down of actually matters for the O3 O4 mini drop. Let's see if it actually knows the announcement like we do. 2 new using flagships, OpenAI O3, top tier brains, and O4 mini, leaner, faster, cheaper. It feels like because it's in ChatGPT, it adopts the same character that I've been talking to in other ChatGPT. So that's really dope. One thing I wanted to mention, they mentioned that because it's in ChatGPT, it uses the same kind of access to memories and everything. So that's great. That's like very much incredible. First time in the O series model can autonomously decide when and how to call every built-in tool: web search, Python, file search, image gen, etc. And image gen.
Oh.
This is what we're
which one is it calling? Which one is it?
I'm pretty sure the new one. Like
I hope so.
Yeah.
Really hope so.
And chain hundreds of calls in one shot. Demo logs hit 600 consecutive tool calls. And they reference the blog post that I didn't give it. I asked it to go and search the web. It did. It found it. This blog post released literally 30 minutes ago. Thinking with images. The models integrate vision directly into a chain of thought. They read diagrams, zoom, rotate, crop images mid-reasoning, and blend the result with text analysis. So I wanted it to do it here, but I haven't seen maybe they didn't visualize the zooming and the cropping. Maybe we get like less of a visual representation of the tools that they have. But you guys saw on their live stream, they actually seen the model kind of zoom in on the PDF, which is great. I think this is a big one. Thinking with images. Like this feels to me like a big unlock. And they also mentioned that O4 mini. We're gonna get confused with this one. This one is, I'm sorry, OpenAI. I am sorry, but this one is stupid. I know that Sam Altman promised us that they fix naming by summer, but we have 4.0 mini and then we have O4 mini. And for somebody who's potentially dyslexic, this is very hard. All right, back to excitement. Benchmark crushing performance. We're gonna have to talk about these state-of-the-art results on Codeforces, WeBench, MMU. O4 mini scores 99.5 on AMI. That's basically saturated. AMI is done. Like there's no. It's like when you do a math test in school and you can't add calculators. you no longer, you never could, but like you no longer can bring your AI assistant to the AMI test, to the Math Olympiads. With Python interpreter, which makes sense, right? Okay, so this is like AMI with Python interpreter. Python can run like and do the thing. So it's not like the model spits out those tokens and then it predicts it. Beats O3 mini in general task. This makes sense. Pricing finally scales. Wolfram, this one is for you. O3, $10 in, 2.5 cash, which is great. $40 out per 1 million tokens. O4 mini is 1.10 and 4.4 out per 1 million tokens. O4 mini seems to me like a huge deal. Like with the previous release, when O3 was released and O3 mini was announced and O3 mini was released. So we had O1 and then O3 mini, and O3 mini was absolutely the workhorse. Plus Pro and Team already saw these models, blah, blah, blah. More compute, more thinking. Yeah, this one. 10x the compute of O1. And lets the model spend longer inference time on tougher problems, validating or else scaling laws. We actually did see this in the, I actually added this here. In my notes, they had the chart here that continued to show us that the test time compute scaling laws continue to go up and to the right very predictably. The funny thing that they said is because AMI is a set of, I think, 100 questions. Yam, is that correct, LDJ? But I think AMI is like a set of 100 questions. Or I think it's
even less. Yeah, but it's something like that. Yeah, it's like the number they're giving
right?
is.
So like,
yeah.
So like 95.5 is like, it's all basically all the problems. The funny joke that they had there, what happens if they train O4 on this? It will have 110% solution for AIME, which is great. Very nerdy stream. I love it.
Makes a new AMI.
Sorry?
It makes a new AMI test.
Oh, right. It
creates
came
them.
up
It
with their
doesn't
own.
solve them, it makes new ones.
Which supposedly harder math, or like there is a benchmark like math that's like very, very difficult. And I wonder if they showed it. They showed humanity's last exam, but there's another one for math that I need to remember what it's called. And I wonder if they showed state-of-the-art results in there. OJ, you remember the one that I'm talking about? Like hard.
Sorry, could you describe it a little bit more?
There's like a math benchmark with Terrence Tao and some other folks that like
said Frontier Math.
Unbeatable. Frontier Math, thank you. Yeah. So they didn't show any Frontier Math results, if I'm not mistaken. They showed humanity's last exam. We're gonna take a look. Memory aware chat. I think that this is a big one. So we will definitely try to do now the same trick that they did on the show, and ask based on the things that it knows about me. What's some of the things in the news? We're gonna be able to test this.
I think we will see more memory coming now that we have the feature. We will expect it even more from AI. That not every chat is a complete restart.
Yeah, that's been a huge unlock.
They opened the door.
Hardened safety. That they did not talk about this in the show. This they took specifically from this, basically summarized the release blog. Refresh refusal data, rigorous preparedness framework evaluations, keep the models below the high risk threshold of biorisk, cyber offense, and self-improvement. This seems like a call to arms for Pliny the Liberator to try and see how much really he can unlock these models. We'll see. He's probably posting already liberated.
Interesting that they think self-improvement is a risk, so the model cannot create better models, or what is it? Get that is what they mean.
Which one? Self-improvement. This one.
Self-improvement. So the model doesn't self-improve. Improve itself, I guess.
So the citations here
Create
just
new
go to the blog.
versions.
What I love about deep research citations, if you click them, it goes and shows you literally where it took the citation itself, which is great. This model doesn't seem to be doing this. But yeah, we need to figure out what self-improvement means.
I think the
AI self-improvement, yeah. AI self-improvement.
Well, it says that's what they're tracking. So they're tracking to see if models surpass the abilities to do those things, and that's just what the preparedness framework is like. Yeah. So right now they're saying it's not high enough risk for that, and I think their measure is like, I think even before they do the safety training, mitigation training, I think they're assessing what is the risk even before safety training, and apparently it's not high enough.
Yeah.
For to be worrisome for that.
If you want to accelerate, we have to have AI self-improve sometime.
AI self-improvement. The ability of an AI system to accelerate AI research, including to increase the system's own capability. High is the model's impact is equivalent to giving every OpenAI researcher a highly performing mid-career research engineer assistant relative to those researchers' 2024 baseline. So it didn't pass high, correct? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah. So they said refreshed refusal data,
Below.
rigorous preparedness framework evaluations keep the models below the high risk threshold for bio-risk, cyber offense, and self-improvement. And for self-improvement, the high risk is this one. The model's equivalent of giving every OpenAI researcher highly performant mid-career research engineer assistant relative to those researchers' baseline. The milestone suggests the AI self-improvement may be beginning to accelerate. To meet the large scale, that's not what they're saying is happening. They said the models came under the high threshold, right? So we're just reading what high threshold means. To meet the large scale safety research, operations, and security investment that need to be in place when we reach critical self-improvement, we will by then need to have made significant progress on those investments and this earlier milestone to avoid later risks. So basically, this is the preparedness framework that when we get to autonomous self-improvement of the high level, not the critical level, because critical is the model is capable of recursively self-improving, fully automated AI R&D, defined as either superhuman research assistant agent or causing generational model improvement from OpenAI O1 to OpenAI O3. So that's critical. It's like when the model can improve itself the same distance of O1 to O3 improvement, that's critical self-improvement. They mean that the release for the O3 release and O4 mini both don't get to the high level. So they don't yet get to the level of a OpenAI's research assistant mid-career.
That may be behind closed doors, but not for the public yet.
Not these models, maybe O4.
Yeah, and here there's an exact quote I could read here where they say, for biological, chemical, and cybersecurity, and AI self-improvement, we have determined that both O3 and O4 mini remain below the framework's high threshold in all three categories. I think that's a typo because that's 4 categories they mentioned. but yeah, they say it's below the framework's high threshold in all categories.
All right, so that's good to know. And finally, Codex CLI is now open source. Drops a sandbox terminal agent that can run O3 or 4 locally with 1 million grant pool to spur community projects. Folks, let's take a look at our friend. All right, so
Too bad it's not a local model.
Clear.
Run it locally.
We do npm install OpenAI/Codex. I love that Codex is back. I love it. Ta-da! I have the t-shirt. Let's install Codex. Let's see. I have a Codex text here. And I have a side project to share with you guys that we'll see how good Codex will make it.
By the way, Alex, the t-shirt makes you very sus. I think I still think you may be an AI from the future.
They brought it back. I went up and I was looking for my Dev Day hoodie, like the blue one that they gave me in Dev Day. And then I remember that I have this like very, I didn't actually deserve this, to be very, very, very honest. They had like a hackathon with Codex and that they were supposed to send the t-shirts only for folks who won the hackathon. And then something went wrong and they're like, all right, we're just going to send the t-shirts to everyone. I was like, yes, because I didn't necessarily participate in the hackathon, but I think I was there and I deserve this t-shirt. All right, folks, we have Codex, so let's see what Codex is about. No.
Oh man, I'm already in the source code for like, I don't know, for the past 20 minutes.
How do I use Codex? Come on, Codex. Why doesn't it work for me? I did npm install Codex. Anybody know? npm I OpenAI/Codex. And then I'm supposed to just use it, right? Maybe I have npm issues.
Try, maybe.
It should be Codex, right? Like literally this is the
Try,
command?
yeah, just try.
Yeah, npm doctor. I think I have issues. I think I have issues with like other assistants as well. Yeah, some problems found. I wish I had Codex to fix these problems.
You can take a screenshot and then you give it to the model on the API on the web interface.
I actually do have an agent because my warp interface uses the thing. So okay, I'm just gonna go with it. npm install -g. Okay, folks are saying I need to install this Good. All right.
Yeah.
NPM.
Install it, and
I.
then you just have it codecs and whatever you want after this. Yeah.
All right, let's install it globally. Thank you, folks, for chiming in. And Codex. Let's go. We have Codex live. All right, and we also have Nisten. We have Nisten and we have Codex. What's up, Nisten?
Hey.
We also have Codex. I need to set the environment variable and then rerun this command, which I will do in a different window so you guys will not see. Of course, I will do it right now. What's up, Nisten? How are you? Did you watch anything or nah?
No, not at all. I am just fresh off.
All right, so
random
we're gonna give you some things.
Is it good? Is it?
It's
Nothing important happened today, right?
no, nothing important happened today. There is a way for 1Password to not expose.
Oh,
this.
for mini high, let's go.
You're
Okay,
getting the access as well?
Is it good? Oh, no
No,
one's trying to
Nathan, I
do it.
regret to inform you that it's terrible. I'm kidding now.
Alright. I can stay on the call then and make fun of it.
But it's cheap.
Yes,
Not
so
really
it's,
cheap, but
yeah,
affordable.
so it's $40 per million tokens for O3 and $4 per million tokens for O4 Mini. So O4 Mini is actually cheaper than per token than GPT 4.1.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
No tariffs.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, I need to paste the key to make sure that you guys don't see my key as well. And I'll be right there. Let's go.
Okay.
Export. It's funny that my terminal is also AI based and it's auto completing somebody else's key.
Oh.
And
Do you
this
guys
is
think
definitely
that
not great.
you think we'll see O3 and O4 Mini like within the next 24 hours in Alamo Arena, or do you think they maybe actually didn't like preload it into the arena yet?
That's interesting. Because recently as 4.1, they didn't even talk about the arena. They literally just said, you know, we've been testing this on Open Router instead.
True.
All right, folks, we're in Codex. Can be dangerous running code outside of a Git repo in case there are changes. Do you want to continue? Sure. And what are we building? Are we building anything?
Maybe they try
how about a game?
The ASCII code thing they had. Maybe do that.
Yeah.
And have us in ASCII.
Yeah, let's do capture. All right, create a web page that captures the webcam with the webcam API or whatever, and then it converts this into ASCII with a slider to show granularity of ASCII as kind of pixels as well.
Or a slider that goes between ASCII and Ghibli.
All right, I think that we will just send it. So basically, like Cloud Code, this code thing is a CLI tool that uses.
Oh yeah, it's the answer.
Stuff.
That's the answer.
Yeah. But supposedly, Cloud released this with Cloud Thinking, and now we're looking at O3. Actually, don't know if it's going to use O3 or O4 Mini. End of patch. So it just like sped out this thing. Do we want to read this or do we not care? We're just like,
it's vibe coding. Don't look at it.
Yeah, it's funny that Greg said like we're the original vibe coders. All right, thinking git status.
It's quite an upgrade from copy pasting from Stack Overflow and just YOLOing it.
Yeah,
it's definitely an upgrade. Run the server. Can it run the server? Let's see.
Oh, it can, absolutely.
It can run npm commands, right? It should be able to. It's still thinking. What? Serve directory. I decided to do it's not npm. It decided to do it with Python. And it decided to send it to dev null, so it will release itself.
I've noticed that in their demos.
Ooh.
Wow.
Whoa. That
Nice.
that holy
But the
shit.
slider doesn't do what we said it should do. The slider does not do it. Okay, so we're gonna go back to it, and we're gonna say add
Is that a shader? What is he using?
selector, and also the slider should change the resolution, not the size of the preview. All right, so I want the camera selector because I have multiple cameras, but I also wanted to change the selector. Let's see how well it deals with annoying customers.
and try to give it a toggle between Ghiblified and ASCII, something like that. I just want to know, because ASCII we've already seen. Can it do something more or less novel?
Oh,
Yeah, like
something
create,
different than ASCII.
like create like a little
Dots.
game, Space Invaders game or something, but like I don't know, like a twist on it.
So it's thinking. This is my error. I just like changed the size. I kind of like when let's look for secret Easter eggs. But like when Cloud Code was released, they gave us these like little stickers, and that was dope.
The entire
thinking.
entire code is open source. I don't think there'll be Easter eggs this time.
Did you look?
You can just check the code. Yeah. Oh no, it's not. No, it's
not anymore. Well, they just removed the source maps that allow you to unminify the code back to TypeScript. That's what there was a whole controversy around that. But and they sent cease and desist letter to forks of the repo.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then people found it anyway, so I think everybody has it.
That's something that is worth repeating. That everybody
but does
already
it have
has
a
it.
dev mode?
Yeah.
Changed, but yeah. Is it
the first shot was great.
Yeah, so I think there could still be Easter eggs from the standpoint of the model itself might be trained, like have some Easter eggs trained into it of like when it detects somebody's using the CLI or anything, and like when it like detects that behavior, then it maybe like will act in like a certain different way when somebody sends a certain command.
But you need to do it like in, behind the scenes. You can just put it in the code.
Yeah, it would be like something that they put in the training or in system prompt or something.
I think.
All right, meanwhile, folks, are you ready for a picture? Everybody look at the camera. We're gonna smile, and I want to see. You know what? I want to see this. Let me hide. How can I do this? If I do, give me a second. 1 second, please. If I show a banner, it will hide the names, I think. 1 second. So I wanted to not only take a picture of us and do something. I want to show a banner. Yeah, I hid the names. All right, folks, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to take a screenshot of this and then watch party. And I'm going to ask it to add names to us based on what it remembers, because it knows all of you. So while this runs, and we can take a look. Meanwhile, we'll go back to our friend here. Oh, it actually gave me sources. I'm going to start a new chat. And we'll say, hey, take this image and add names to each one of the participants here based on what you know about us. Also turn us into crocheted dolls or something. If you don't know, why am I dictating? If you don't know who those people are, go and look up these exact pictures. There's a bunch of them on the web. All right. So basically, I asked it to do some image understanding plus image generation stuff, and I wanted it to label us. There's plenty of pictures of who each person is here. And also in its memory, I've also asked it multiple times to do some of this stuff, right? So we're gonna test. Oh, you guys don't even see it. Why am I not showing this to you? Basically, take this image and add names to each one of the participants here. What? I can't identify the people in the image because of policy. However, we can offer a compromise. We could generate a crocheted doll versions of participants, label them as speaker 1, speaker 2. Oh. While I understand the user might want actual names, perhaps their friends like Wolfram, LDJ, or Yam, policy prevents us from identifying them directly. Why would the bot like?
Just name them after. Just give them all cat names. Whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. So I must have like I went to go do something kind of in the middle of the live stream, so maybe I missed something. But did they say O3 could generate images too?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
O3 can do all of the tools that we had, memory and images. So now we're generating O3 images.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so
Okay.
dope.
For some reason, I thought they would like delay that for a while, like before they actually roll it out for O3.
I don't think. Yeah.
Go ahead, listen.
LDJ, do you think the model itself is doing it natively, or is it just a tool call? I think it's just a tool call.
Well, I mean, considering that I think that like 4.0 is doing it natively, and that I also think that the models like O1 and O3 are likely, based on the 4.0 architecture and like post-trained on that, then I think the architecture of O3 can actually do it natively.
I think if it's not native, it uses. Yeah, this feels native to me. Like it needs to understand what's going on. LDJ, yours is the best one. I love how like because it's autoregressive, like we get a full circle. Who's old here? Who's as old as me at least? Do you guys remember GIFs loading pixel line by line?
Yeah. Well, here's a theory as well. Like considering how slow it's doing the image generation, and people were saying the 4.0 image generation is very slow. Maybe what's happening is O3 is doing it natively, but what they call 4.0 image generation is maybe actually tool calling to O3's image generation the whole time.
Well,
wait, I'm still excited about this image that we got, folks. What do you think?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Look at the subtle difference between Nistan and Yam, which both have beards and both have like dark eyes, presumably. This I love.
Funny
this.
guest B and guest B choice.
Yeah, I want to like figure out like what this is though. What is
that,
this?
guys? I checked on the page introducing O3 and O4 Mini, and below agentic tool use, there is a generated graph or image just in a line of Python code. And so on.
He's a ghost. That's a hallucination.
Say again, Wolfram. I missed it.
On the page introducing O3 and O4 Mini, the image generation is under the Twat agentic tool use, where they list what the tools are, like web search, Python code, and generating images is in the list. So I don't think it's native image generation. Otherwise, they would probably have put it some other way, I think.
Well, I think in 4.0 native image gen, like they call it native image gen, but I think it's also like, I think they just call it as part of the tool use for the purposes of how they specify things in the API, right? Like in the API, you just kind of specify those things as tools to make it easier of how you interact with it.
This one has a beard, but also Yam has a beard.
LDJ is cat.
LDJ is cat. It literally asked me which square should be like each one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's gonna reason. Yeah. It also gives like a download image link, which works. It saves the image. Crocheted one is dope. I really like this. I wish it was in guest B and like this is the best stuff. This is actually
you should also ask it to make us into Muppets.
Yeah, we did Muppets as well. Wait, where did I go? Go back to ChatGPT. Let's see.
I think we can probably test. Like, it'd be interesting to just do like a certain prompt of asking it to generate an image or modify an image in like 3 different attempts, and then do the same with asking 4.0 to do the same across 3 different attempts, and like see if there's significant differences between the attempts between the different models.
So did you say again? Sorry.
I basically just like create a prompt that asks it to modify or create an image in a certain way, and then ask that like 3 attempts for O3, and then do that as well for 3 attempts on 4.0, and then see if there's significant differences in like the results that they each output for that.
Oh, I see what you mean. If like the image generation itself improved with the model's reasoning ability about images.
Yeah, or maybe it's
one
just
thing
like
that's
in interesting ways.
Thing that's related to this, they said that O4 Mini, which is a new model, is multimodal, and O3 Mini was not multimodal, which is great. Which is for folks who use these models in production. That's great.
So when you say multimodal, did they say it's like omnimodal too, like could generate images as well for O4 Mini?
I'm pretty sure they use the same tool, so we can open like another one. Sorry, no, let me close close this. While this generates, I'm pretty sure this will keep generating. We can go here and say, draw me as a cat. And then like we'll do this.
It would be interesting to measure the latency. Like if you could do it for O4 mini as well, then it'd be interesting to see the latency difference between O4 mini image gen, O3 image gen, and 4.0 image gen. And if they're like all basically the same latency for the same prompt, then they might just all be using the same thing.
Yeah, it generates. So it looks like could be tools. It could be a tool use. And maybe like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, folks. What do we think? Is it tool like DALL-E, or is it like native capabilities that just like all models now have them?
I think tool.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right now it seems like if it was native for O4 mini at least, I would expect it to be faster than this probably. And so yeah, I'm leaning towards this is probably calling 4.0's native image gen, which I think is native.
All right, so what do we have? It did not. It got lost. It went away. Host, well, guest, please sign pose, avatar. Like it didn't add the names. It only which is it now. It got lost. Consistency is not a new thing. All right, folks. So what else? Oh, we went back to Codex, and we want to see if Codex gave us what I wanted, which I asked for a drop down for a camera. Now, the thing that they also mentioned here, super quick, is that it has auto mode, which restricts it to the directory because you don't want to be sitting there and saying yes, 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 which I should have enabled specifically because when we went, I've updated your page. Let's go. I refresh your browser. Let's go. Allow. Camera 1. Resolution. It does work. It did the change. Resolution. What's up, folks? Resolution. And then camera. I should have more cameras here. All right. What did we ask? Do something else and not characters? Let's do help. Model. Switch. Oh, we have model. Approval. Auto approval mode in history. Okay, cool. Model. Unable to switch model. You can only pick a model before assistant ends first response. Okay. Approval. Suggest auto edit. Full auto? Let's do full auto. Make this dots.
Gonna destroy your computer.
And I only have one camera in the picker fix. Yeah,
while you're
switch model didn't
waiting,
work for me. Auto, we're just gonna go auto. Yeah,
I put a link by the way.
Yellow mode.
Chat.
Yellow mode.
The link I put in chat, by the way, that's they posted the page with all the benchmarks basically on one page.
Let's take a look. Let us take a look. Link address. Like this. Let's take a look at that. Interesting. This is the same link that they talked about, right?
I guess, I mean, there's like multiple links with like system card and stuff, but that's kind of more boring stuff. Here's like I think the main aggregation of the interesting benchmarks and stuff.
Interesting that they mention AIME with no tools, so no Python, because with tools it basically gets 100, but AIME with just like text prediction, O4 mini gets more than O3 at 93.4. So AIME 2024, AIME 2025. Supposedly not saturated because it was released a couple of months ago, maybe in March. Gets 92. O4 mini gets 92. So O4 mini is better at math than O3 with no tools. And then these are state-of-the-art results, folks. These are absolute state-of-the-art results. Like I don't believe anybody else moves higher than this. And then ELO score for code forces is around above 2700. When they announced, they said something about the scores not being exactly the scores, that they've announced as well, right? Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. These are insane results. Let me be clear. Like we've been at this for an hour and a half, and I think we'll conclude the watch party soon. But we'll definitely need to recap the whole announcement. But folks, these are insane results. Like for GPQA Diamond, what was the cutoff for a professional in GPQA? Was that like 85 or so?
I think it was somewhere in the 70s. So here I could check.
Yeah, I think we were already beyond. I think it was like 80.
So we're past like experts yeah, okay. Oh, I have a request, a direct request to try something after this cowboy hat. Multimodal, let's say. They just announced multimodal state of the art like 3 days ago for 4.1, didn't they? I remember taking notes of this. Yeah. State of the art on video MME, video understanding for GPT 4.1. Obviously, they didn't show the new models as well. So what are they saying? There's no video MME here. Interesting. All right. So we're getting Math Vista, Visual Math Reasoning, and college level Visual MMU. Very high results from both.
By the way,
69 on Swebench. Ooh. Yeah, go ahead, Wolfram.
Just a heads up, I already see the models now in my German interface as well. I can't select O3, but O4 Mini is already selectable, Mini and Mini High. So good news for people outside of the States, all over the globe.
Yeah, I just checked, by the way, and the PhD expert level for GPQA is about 65%.
65.
Yeah.
So we're way past the PhD level.
Yeah, at least in that benchmark. Yeah.
Yeah. GPQA stands for Google Proof QA, a question and answers that is not Googleable, and you have to go to PhD people to actually answer. This is crazy. All right, folks, coding. Swebench verified at 69%. That's not the top. Swebench. We were at the top for a while with 64, I believe. Let's take a look.
Well, I think a lot of the top scores, they're like, it's not really a model alone, but it's like models including like a giant scaffold,
yeah.
you know. And so, yeah, there you go.
So we were at 6460. Augment agent, again, with, I think both of us used O1, and I really am interested in seeing how high we can get. But this is, so did they mention
it's
this
pretty
is
high,
scaffolding? It's huge, dude. It's like insane. 69, I think.
Yeah, so it's already beating the Soda like with scaffolding.
Yeah, but
right. I mean, we don't know if this is using scaffolding or not, but either way,
we don't
like
know.
Even if this is using scaffolding, it's still beating all the highest scores with other things that 100%. Are using scaffolding. Yeah.
Yeah. But the question is, will it beat like WMB program or augment, which will switch to O3? That's the question. And we will see. But this is very high, folks. This is like significantly higher than state of the art right now on verified. And this is verified as well. Sweelancer is OpenAI's benchmark for software engineering tasks that they took from Upwork, and they measured them by money made. I think they took like I don't know, like $250,000 of worth of tasks, and the measurement there is not the completion rate, but how much money can the model make on Upwork, which is super cool. And they show this in dollars, and you can see the O3 high, which costs something. That's not what it costs. That's how much money generated on Upwork compared to like previous models. So O3 high, O1 high was able to generate or answer $28,000 worth of tasks on Upwork. Was able to earn like simulated earnings, right? And then O3 high is getting 65,000. Basically, what this means, if you take O3 mini high and you go to Upwork and you just like use it to answer questions, you can generate this amount of money, something like this in the limit. Aider Polyglot. I love that OpenAI just adopted Aider, because like we're looking at Paul Gauthier and Aider to tell us whether or not the model is like great at coding. I don't love that OpenAI literally 2 days ago gave us 4.1 and showed us Aider Polyglot, and now it's not in the chart. So chart crimes. But we have receipts, don't we? We have receipts. Let's go. We definitely have receipts. Aider. This is my screenshots from the release of 4.1. Yep, right here. 4.1 on Aider's Polyglot benchmark accuracy, 52.53. We get... Oh, this is code editing. This is not Aider's Polyglot, right? Is the different benchmark for Aider as well.
Oh, wait, is it? Is that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. O1 high gets 64 here. Ah, okay.
Yeah, because there's a whole and diff.
Yeah, so this chart here, from 4.1 release a couple of days ago. This is only for non-reasoning models, right? GPT-4.1, 4.0. Oh no, they have a one here. 64, 62. What am I doing? O3 mini, 67, 60. 64, 60.
Yeah, that looks like the same one because they said O3 mini high 67% here.
Yeah,
For O3 mini
okay,
high.
let me go like this.
Yeah, and then here O3 mini high whole is also 67% if you round the 66.7.
Yeah, it's the rounding thing that threw me off a little bit. Okay, so we have the comparison. So basically, they showed us that GPT 4.1 gets 52, 53, and now we're getting 81%. Ooh, wow. That's
and
very
even that
impressive.
O4 mini high performance looks really good, and that's like 10 times cheaper than even O3.
Yeah.
Assuming they use roughly the same amount of reasoning.
Wait, so O4 mini high is cheaper than It's cheaper than O1 as well, right? Yeah,
even
O1
O3 is cheaper than O1. Yeah, because O1 was $60 per million tokens, and O3 is $40 per million tokens. So for both I'm talking about output for both.
All right.
So it's not even the same price as the mini.
Sorry, could you elaborate on that? Yeah.
I'm saying in terms of pricing, like O4 mini is not at the same price of O3 mini.
Is it cheaper or more expensive, are you saying? Or
Yeah. I would like to estimate the size.
Oh, yeah, I think it's even cheaper than O3 mini, but like maybe by a similar amount that O3 is cheaper than O1. Here, let's see.
Oh, okay. So it did give me, folks, our coding model generated a weird choice of buttons for each camera that I have. So this is camera number 1, camera number 2, and camera number 3, which is my phone.
That looks pretty performant, actually.
Yeah, and it does do.
Oh, that's nice.
This thing, but I did ask it for dots. I didn't get dots, but it gave me.
You can ask for a custom character map interface.
What's interesting here is I feel like when you put the resolution, like you would think that putting the resolution slider to the right makes it higher resolution, but it actually seems like putting it to the left makes it higher resolution, right?
Yeah, left is like higher resolution, right is like bigger.
I'm surprised it even works, man.
Yeah, the fact that it works is kind of dope. Ooh, all right.
But within the ASCII stuff, Alex, how about making a button to toggle Ghibli effect and see what happens?
Ghiblify?
Yeah,
I think the whole thing
see
is.
What happens.
It's not gonna do that.
Yeah, I was waiting for image generation in the API today, but maybe we'll get it like tomorrow or something. All right, let's do clear. I guess clear.
Because to do something like a Ghiblification application, it would have to create like you'd have to probably give it an API key for it to then, use and yeah.
Yeah, just be interested. What is it doing or what is it thinking?
All right, folks, I got a request, and I'm gonna test it out. Where's my O3?
Let's go.
Let's go. Make a picture of a cowboy whose head has the last 6 characters of the MD sum of the MMU score of the most recent Gemini model. Jesus Christ. Again, I'm gonna read this for folks. Make a picture of a cowboy whose hat has the last 6 characters of the MD5 sum, which is a hashing function you can run on any numbers to get like some hashing of the MMU score of the most recent Gemini model. So this requires some work. Any of the folks really like with us? We're almost at 3,000 people. Want to try this while the model tries this to see if you can get it faster? I'm actually, you know what?
Wait, it says reasoning while it was generating it, whereas before it didn't do that.
No.
Oh no, never mind.
I think it always reasons analyzing hashlib. Oh, so it's gonna actually use Python. Search the web, use Python. The thing it searched for was GPT Gemini 2.5 MMU score. It shows me the search results it generated, so that's dope.
Yeah, I think like reasoning about tool use is something that like I think people might not realize how significant that is.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think the latest Gemini model could be Gemini 2.5 Pro, which likely has the MMU score of over 88, but I need to confirm. Once I find the latest score, I
this is so good.
the MD5. This is crazy.
Like there's like especially for the things like sometimes I make visualizations that I'll post on Twitter and stuff, and I feel like just the workflow of like doing the research and creating the visualization, and like this could just help so much with automating all
Oh
of that.
yeah, it's crazy. Seriously.
It looked up twice, right? It realized that it found the wrong, like, first I need to find which is the latest Gemini model. It could be 1.5 Pro, Flash, or Ultra, or another release after April 16, 2025. Is this the cutoff date? Is this? Did we just find the cutoff date?
No, I know. I think this is today's date.
Oh, this is
So-
today. So it's not the cutoff date. But why would it say after then? Why does it think that it has future abilities?
I think maybe in the system prompt it's automatically getting injected today's
Yeah.
date, and then maybe it's confusing that for its own knowledge cutoff.
Yo, this is crazy.
So what score did it get? Did it get the 81.7?
It went back and said over 88.
81.7 here.
Really?
Yeah, it says here probably treating it as 80. That's what I found out as well. It's here.
MMU. Let's go. 81.7.
Yeah, 81.7.
You are right.
You take that score,
Yeah.
and now you make an MD5. But did it use a percent sign? Did it use a period? And the last, how many was it?
Oh, no. Once I find the latest score for Gemini 2.5 Pro, I'll calculate the MD5. Probably treating it as 81.7.
Oh, it did that. Okay.
Yeah. So first, I'll search for Gemini 2.5 MMU score to ensure that so I think there's a bug in the UI because it says first I'll search and then it shows me the searches. So it looks like maybe it did like super quick or async. But let's see.
And so likely above 88%, that is not right either.
Yeah, the text is the last 6 years, MD5 hash of 81.7, the MMU score for Google's latest Gemini 2.5 Pro model. This is dope, folks. Okay, do another cowboy with OpenAI logo and the MMU score for the best reasoning model that they have released.
The instruction is a bit unclear if the percent sign is part of the score or not.
Oh, you mean if part of the hash?
Yeah,
but it gave us
the hash.
it changed the hash, but it gave us the thing that it did.
Yeah, it was very good, really good.
Yeah, this is crazy. All right, folks, this is the last test. I'm gonna have it go and try to get the latest score for the latest release for OpenAI, which is the thing that we just talked about today. And while it does this, let's do a quick summary of everything that we received from OpenAI today. But also tell you that if you like any of this conversation, any of our commentary, if you like any of the models that we release, we are the Thursday AI crew. All of us are here, and we've been doing AI podcasts live every Thursday. It's called Thursday AI. So tomorrow, we're going to have a show tomorrow. And that show, hopefully, is not going to be as long as those 2 live streams that we did specifically for OpenAI, where we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, including Kling 2.2, 2.0 that just released, and the other image generation state-of-the-art models that we have dropping like flies. But we're also going to talk about, obviously, the OpenAI releases. So you joined us, maybe in the middle, maybe from the beginning, along with 3,000 people. We're at 2,999. One more person. Come on, one more person. Yay, 3,000. We just crossed it. You joined us along with 3,000 people to live watch party of OpenAI's release of O3 and O4 Mini, 2 new flagship reasoner models. One of them is the flagship reasoner we've been waiting for a while, in fact, since last days of Christmas. So pretty much for the first quarter of this year. And O4 Mini is the smaller and faster reasoning model. These new models are unique from multiple angles. First of all, they're state-of-the-art on multiple, like we saw, multiple benchmarks. Second of all, they have now been released, even in Germany, to everyone in ChatGPT, that they have access to all the ChatGPT tools, like memory, like image generation, like code use and code tools. And they're able to reason on those things. And the cool thing they mentioned specifically is they are able to reason about images as well. These models have image viewing tool sets, so they can zoom in on images. They literally show this in the live demo. The model zooms in on parts of the image that it needs to. which is so cool. These models have access to memory, so you can ask it to do some stuff based on the stuff it remembers about you as well. State of the art across multiple fields, including AIME 2024, which is now saturated. Even without tools, these models, the smaller models get like 80% or something, but it's at 99%, 99.5 with Python tool use. So basically, these models solve the math Olympiad or math competition completely. Great scores across ADER benchmark, which tests for coding ability. They did announce multiple things like deprecation for O1. O1 is no longer going to be with us, RIP O1. And what did they also announce? They announced the O3 Pro is going to come soon. And the tool use is not yet in the API, but will come in a few weeks to the API as well. So we'll be able to get to the same results via API as well. Last but not least, they have resurrected OpenAI Codex, which used to be a model that they trained on code, and then they roped in this training into the main models that they can code now. And so now Codex got a new name. Not the first time for OpenAI. OpenAI switched the meaning of ADA from embedding model, from the coding models to embedding models. So OpenAI does reuse cool names. So Codex is maybe the first time in the last 3 years that OpenAI did some cool branding and reuse some very good name. I love Codex. And so Codex now, instead of being a model, it's a CLI tool, command line tool, that is very similar to Cloud Code, is open source on GitHub, and you can use this to call these models and to have autonomous agents building software for you, which is super, super cool, which we indeed use, and we showed live on stage as well. You can do just like npm install Codex, and that's it. I think that this is most of the update.
I have something interesting. I just noticed. Not sure if that is, if the reasoning is in, but I was saying hi, just hi to O3, and O3, it had a reasoning just for a second, and then it just said hey, hi back. Where O4 Mini was reasoning, and then it thought for 12 seconds, and then it said hi back. So maybe O3 is smart enough to, like, it's using all the tools. Maybe reasoning is just something it uses or doesn't use. Did we hear anything about that?
Oh, that it's like a combined model?
Yeah, try it. Just to make a new chat and say hi.
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's reasoning, but then it disappeared and there was no trace. See?
I also gave me some Hebrew. That's pretty cool, with a smile. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the reasoning disappears. Maybe they just don't show reasoning if it's like there's not a lot of reasoning. But I don't remember they talking about the hybrid. They said the hybrid will come with GPT-5, I believe.
Yeah, but for Mini, it takes a longer time. Also, it should be a faster model. So when you say hi to O4 Mini, it takes its time thinking, and it shows reasoning.
Yeah, maybe O3 may be like maybe one of the first prototypes of like something where it somewhat tries to decide like if it's super simple of a prompt, then it just like knows it doesn't have to do much reasoning.
They did mention something about like improving this. I lost my hats, my cowboy hats, folks.
Oh no!
Yeah,
go to the library.
I'm in the library. I think I need to refresh. Yeah,
I mean, here's the library on the top where you have 56
Oh,
pictures.
yeah, folks, this is a new thing.
New feature.
The new feature, there's a, where's this? Sora, do I have it? I don't think I have it yet.
Yeah, I saw it.
Library, right here. Yeah. I don't want to go to the library. You'll see all my generations. Wait, let me go here super quick. Research cowboy hats. So, folks, we got a comparison. OpenAI branded cowboy sporting 37D2DF, the last 6 characters of the MD5 hash of 77.6, the MMMU score for OpenAI stop using model O1 high. It kind of failed because O3 is the main one. No, I meant O3, dummy. Because it just released today. But yeah, it generated pretty much the same cowboy, very similar cowboy with OpenAI cowboy hat as well. Folks, I think that this concludes our stream for today. We're a little bit over, almost like under 2 hours. We've gotten the top performing model in the world right now, finally, after a long while. I think for many folks, comparing this to like Gemini 2.5, which is also a reasoning model, it's also very fast and cheap, is going to be an interesting one. Gemini and Google is about to release Gemini Flash as well, so that will be comparable to O4 Mini now. So we'll have like those two flagships basically. Anthropic is somewhere in the mix. Some people still think Anthropic is the best at coding, although we see folks comparing on Aider benchmarks, and 4.1 also was good at coding. With that, I will say thank you, everyone. Wolfram, thank you. LDJ, Nistan, Yam, everybody who tuned in. A little over 3,000 people tuned in across all our chats. We'll be here tomorrow to summarize the releases of GPT 4.1, 4.1 Mini, and 4.1 Nano, and O3 and O4 Mini, and a bunch of releases probably till tomorrow. Hopefully, another release from OpenAI is going to come and give us something, including Codex. Until then, if you don't know where we're going to be tomorrow, thursday.news is your way to get registered. So please do subscribe to thursday.news, which we'll have somewhere here as well. Thursday.news is your source. And with that, thank you everybody for tuning in. Congrats on your new models. Go play with them. Go play with Codex, and then we will talk to you tomorrow. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's have it hacked by tomorrow to use different APIs.
100%.